Dad's old rat rod. I want to start working on it. So it has a Flathead V8 in it, and someone has done adapters to bring it up to a Rochester 2-barrel. Well, when Dad got sick, he couldn't really drive it no more, and I really didn't drive it much. And with the new ethanol fuel, from where it's set so long, it kind of clogged up the idle jets and stuff on the Rochester. So I'm deciding, instead of redoing the Rochester or getting another one, I want to try the Holley EFI 2300. I believe that's the model number and all. So I'm gonna do a little video of me installing it from start to finish. Let's see here. As you can see, I kind of got a little bit of starting fluid there. I don't know if I can start it with one hand, but just let's show you, it's a pretty cold natured truck anyhow. Like it refuses to idle right now, even turning this up, whatnot, it doesn't want to idle. But anyhow, like I said, it's a very cold natured truck anyhow, so let's see how this Holley kit helps that out. It's supposed to kind of help it out. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and start on all this. I removed the fuel line, and it has an electric fuel pump on it already. So I put it in a jug, cut it on, drain the fuel cell, which looks like I kind of need to clean the fuel cell out a little bit. It is what it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull the carb out here, and I also went ahead and unhooked the fuel pump, whatever, because I know I'm gonna lose a little bit of fuel, and I would rather do it outside versus in the shop. Because personally, your standard gas, I hate the smell of it, and it gives me a headache after a while. Racing fuel, totally different story, but just your standard 10% ethanol fuel and stuff, I can't stand it. All right, so let's pop this off. Okay, so carbs removed. Just keep in mind, once you do this, if you're doing it like I'm doing, so to speak, outside, truck's dead now. But I installed a winch in my shop a long time ago, a little cheap Harbor Freight winch. I got a 45 amp hour JY cell, just plug up to it and I can just pull it in. Not very fast, but it's effective. If the vehicle's not running, I can just snatch it in with a winch. Let me shut this door. All right, so the kit showed up, and I've already unboxed everything and basically condensed everything down in one box, other than the TBI or whatever. But anyhow, so very nice looking. It has the actual brain box is built onto it, which is pretty neat. It has the pigtails on it. We'll see how that pans out later on once I go hooking everything up, and how easy it is to, kind of hide it on here or whatever. But I did buy the master kit, which basically comes with everything, fuel lines, all the, fittings that's required, the O2 sensor, everything's in here, fuel filter, fuel pump. I did an inline fuel pump because the rat rod has a fuel cell in it. Like I said, I did run into, or I am running into right now, a little problem. This, so it's old Flathead V8. Oh yeah, and the temp sensor, which I've already got it installed. I went ahead and done that a while ago. This is Flathead. It had an adapter on it to bring it up to a Rochester 2-barrel. Well, being this throttle body is a lot bigger, so to speak. So I'm going to have to make another adapter plate to bolt to this. I'm going to have to open this up some, you know, so it clears good. But however, even like right now, the butterflies, I don't know if you can see this or not, do clear at wide open throttle, just like that. But you know, I'll blend it in some. But however, this winter I do want to raise this whole drivetrain up. I'm going to change the intake to a 4-barrel intake, so all of this stack up will drop back down where it should be. Right now, my main goal is just to get it running. You know, I do have a CNC mill, so I mean, I could machine my own adapters. That way I don't have an adapter on an adapter. But right now, for time constraint, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make an adapter plate to go up there. Just a quick 1/2-inch thick aluminum adapter plate just to get it going. Then this winter we'll worry more about, you know, changing the intake and all out. Like I said, I do have a fuel cell. So I've got to pop a return in it and start running the fuel lines. But, all right. So we're moving along with the installation. I decided on this. I'm actually waiting on some parts. They make another adapter there. I'm just going to buy, or I bought another adapter to put there. Starting to run a lot of the wiring now. You know, you got a lot of quick connects. Your fuel pump relay, fuses, your main hot, this and that. I've got the O2 sensor already put in the exhaust pipe. I've got all the fuel line ran up to this point. I'm going to put a distribution block here and put a fuel gauge. That is one thing I think that they should include is inline fuel gauge, just so you can ensure that you're getting the recommended fuel pressure for it. The rat rod, when it had a small electric fuel pump on it. You know, somebody put this together and put a little inline fuel pump or a gauge. It was like 5 psi, where this system is like 58 psi. So obviously I can't use any of that. That just wouldn't handle the pressure. But I got my return line there. I've got to finish running it. Some of the wiring you see here was already on the rat rod, stuff that the kit eliminated, like you know, it had some wires going in the fuel pump. The rat rod did. This, like I said, goes with the relay and all. It's a lot safer, a lot better, a lot cleaner. So I know some of the wiring looks like a mess, but a lot of it's just sitting there. You know, I mean, I haven't ran it yet and neatened it up. So far, the wiring's pretty good. It's pretty easy. You know, the book's pretty detailed. And I didn't realize this buying it, but it also will, there's a 10 pin that has options that you can program and do. You know, it can control the cooling fans and stuff like that, which is pretty neat. I'm going to end up doing that on here. You know, this truck was a wiring mess. Somebody had the fan just wired where it automatically came on as soon as the key was turned on. Well, I'm going to use the sniper kit to monitor temperature and cut the fan on and off when needed, because, you know, especially I'm having problems with cold start anyhow. And, you know, when I first started up with the fans automatically running, it takes the motor twice as long to build heat up in it. So that'll be a pretty neat option too, that I actually didn't know that this kit would do. So that's pretty cool. I've got my return line tapped in. You know, ran down through there. I think that's about where I'm at right now. I did have to order more fittings because I ripped all of my fuel lines out, you know, my whole fuel system out. The kit probably comes with enough stuff to splice into your existing stuff. But however, because I wanted to redo mine completely, I ended up consuming all the fittings that the kit came with, and I had to order, 4 or 5 more. But like I said, I'm also doing a block here with a pressure gauge and stuff. The kit didn't include any of that. Personally, I think it should. But anyhow, so that's where we're at so far on the installation. All right, so I got it mounted. I got my 2 spacers. Like I said, eventually I do want to do a 4-barrel intake, and I'll be able to lose all of this. However, I will still have to run a 2-barrel or a 4-barrel to a 2300 adapter, but at least it won't be up so high. That's later on. Right now, the main goal is to get it started. Only thing I'm waiting on is a couple more fuel fittings. Like I said, I ran mine a little different, so sorry, that's a light in the cab that's reflecting through. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the setup wizard on it. I'll try to possibly film it. I don't know how to work filming one-handed and trying to go through it, but we'll see how complicated it is. All right, so we'll see if we can do this one-handed. There's quite a bit on this Flathead that I don't know, because I didn't build it. My dad actually bought this truck from somebody, so some of it I'm just gonna have to get as close as I can. So let's see how generic this setup is, so to speak. All right, so ignition on. Looks like let's do a boot up sequence. I don't know. Yep. So according to the book, it says go to the wizard and select whatever kit this is. This is the 2300. So it is a 2 injector 2300. It's gonna be a little hard to do it one-handed. It's a V8. Then it's going to ask the engine displacement. This is a 8BA, so it's a 255 cubic inch. Like I said, I don't know if it's been bored. I don't know any of that, but so I'm just going to go with the 255. All right, and target idle speed. To begin with, let's say 900. Oh, it does come with a stylus. I probably should be using that instead of my finger. Yeah, I mean, it's not a build. All right, RPM to sniper. We're using the cool negative, and you know what? I don't even know if you can see any of this on my phone. All right, so we're fully installed now. Last little clip I done of the setup wizard didn't go so well. I couldn't really see the screen very good. It was having a hard time focusing, so I was going to clip that. Just know that everything wasn't 100% like the book said, but it was all self-explanatory, very easy. I mounted a block with a fuel pressure gauge. That way I can, keep an eye on the fuel pressure. I think that it should come with that, but it doesn't, so I had to add it. That's why I had to purchase a few more fittings. Fuel pump's primed, returns on. I've checked for leaks. I didn't put much fuel in it. I put maybe a gallon, so we're ready for first startup. I'm going to I'm gonna leave the fan running, so it's gonna kind of be loud, but we'll try it. All right, so I did find a small fuel leak on the return. I immediately stopped, repaired it, cleaned it all up. Now I am on the initial startup. So this will be the first time it is turned over with an attempt to start. So here we go. That was the very first time, and I've told it to idle at 950. It hit the very first time it turned. Now I have to do the self-learning, which I need to drive it down the road. But that initial startup was freaking fantastic. The installation was very simple, very straightforward. So, guess let me take it down the road now. It's still in learning mode, but I thought it was pretty cool that it can distinguish that and keep it from stalling. Put it in reverse. That's pretty neat. Again. It'll keep itself from stalling out. That's neat. Alright, so this is mid-February. I kind of went back and looked at when I started installing this setup. It was actually 1st of July last year when I done it. So it's been on there since then. Been to several local cruise-ins, and matter of fact, I just got back from driving it around a while ago. I started teaching my wife how to drive it. She's drove a 5-speed before, but she's pretty rusty, so she's just learning. And it's actually a pretty neat feature on this. I can actually bump the idle up, and it actually helps her with stalling it out, taking off and stuff, because the idle's a little bit elevated, which is pretty cool feature. The only dislike I could say, and I'm assuming it's just for a flathead, because the valve configurations come up. So, naturally, the gas has got to go down and come back up, what have you not. The only thing I've noticed is when it is very, very cold, very cold, first startup, I have to cycle the key twice so it'll pulse twice, it's like an extra squirt of fuel, and then it'll normally start. What, Shadow? Oh my Lord. Well, I guess I might have to pause the video and wait until the cats decide to quit checking it out. All right, now that the cats are fed and they're not trying to jump me, I guess this would be my disclaimer part. I didn't switch to this sniper kit because of, I thought that fuel injection was superior to carburetor or anything like it. I know a lot of people get that kind of confused of why people do it. I done it because this is my introduction to this kit and how it operates, and doing some of the tuning. That's the only reason why I done it. This needed either the carburetor rebuilt or whatever. So I decided to go this method just to try. I know a lot of people frown upon this. A lot of purists, they frown upon it and they think, oh, I just ruined this motor. No, I did not. It's 4 bolts. That carburetor or that sniper kit will literally come right off, and a carburetor can go right back on it. So I don't get that. I really don't. But anyhow, that's enough of the rambling on. As far as being satisfied with it, absolutely I am. The next thing that I plan on doing is I'm going to change the distributor out, and I'm going to let the let the sniper kit control the timing curve. But what I plan on doing is buying a whole new distributor to pull the points distributor out and dropping one in just in case I don't like it, or whatever. I can go back to what is tried and true, which is a point style distributor with a vacuum advance. But if I got the technology, I might as well let it try to do it. But as far as how it runs, it's fabulous. So, all right, I hope this was educational, and maybe I hope this helps somebody make a decision, whether it's they're curious or wants to do it. But well, let's see here. So I'll leave it on this note here.